This Korean-inspired Gochujang Aubergine is just a quick 15-minute meal that you can make on a weekday. It doesn't take a lot. You can use the air fryer, minimal on the dishes, and you know, it just tastes absolutely amazing. So let's get cooking. Well, I guess we should probably get some ingredients together to make this yum thing. All right, we're gonna need 1 delightful aubergine, a little bit of ginger and garlic, a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of sesame oil, some gochujang fermented soybean paste. This stuff is absolutely delicious, really easy to find. It's now in the supermarkets everywhere you go. This stuff is banging. Plus, it's actually fermented, meaning it's good for your belly. A little bit of miso, not totally important. I've got it in the fridge though, so I'm gonna put a bit in. If you don't, you know, it's just a little bit of extra kind of salt, umami. You can just add a little bit of extra seasoning. A little bit of coriander. And I've got some toasted sesame seeds which were in the cupboard, but this would actually be really great with some peanuts or maybe some cashews. This is just going to be for on the top, just to give it a little bit of a, you know, beautiful look and super tasty. So as you can see, I mean, yes, there's a few ingredients that maybe you don't have, the gochujang, but for the most part, these are kind of semi-cupboard staples. An aubergine, you know, currently they're an okay price. Sometimes aubergines are really expensive. What's great about this is that, you know, you can use anything. You could use a cauliflower, a broccoli. Yeah, I mean, God, you could even do it with carrots. They're all gonna taste like absolutely amazing. This is a great veggie, in fact, vegan meal. So, you know, it's like really delicious, totally customizable, and whatever you wanna use, just use it. Yeah, I mean, God, you could even just like cook some cabbage in the sauce that we're gonna make and it would still be super yum. I'm gonna to have it with, and we're gonna have a little bit of broccoli that's on the side. I've got a very sad broccoli. Would you like to see it? This poor guy, he's been hanging out in the fridge. He's been a bit squashed. He's also a bit floppy, but he'll be great steamed up on the edge. So we're just gonna steam him. He's gonna go on the side. And like I said, I'm gonna serve it with rice only because I cooked too much rice the other day. Been in the business 20 years, still can't get the right amount of rice for one person. Always have leftovers. So I'm gonna use the rice, but you know, if you didn't want to cook rice and you had some 2-minute noodles, God, everyone's got them in their cupboard. Great, cook them. If you had some egg noodles, amazing, put them in. Whatever you've got, you're just gonna have to make sure that they're ready at the same time as your aubergine that comes out. And we're gonna make the sauce and put it all together. Like I said, super quick, 15 minutes max, and you can just have like a banging meal for dinner that isn't too difficult to make. So if you were cooking this at home and you didn't have any leftover rice, go get your rice on right now. Up here, I've left a little link to how to make perfect fluffy rice every time, just in case you're not quite sure. It's a quick, fail-safe method. You can get that on first and all of these things will come together all about the same time as your rice being ready. If you were having it with noodles, then maybe we might wait a little bit longer. Once the aubergine is in cooking, then we can get the pot of water on for the noodles. Yeah, let's do it. First of all, let's get the aubergine in. I'm just gonna cut them up into some kind of like long bits because I kind of like to have them. Plus, they do keep just a little bit more moist in the middle, but you know, you can cut them up into chunks. They'll cook really fast, but I'm just gonna kind of leave them, I think like this, because like I said, these bits will stay nice and creamy and they'll get all nice and toasted and there'll be a good bit of surface area to get nice and golden brown. Once they're chopped, add them into the bowl and we'll just season them up. And let's not forget a little thing for the compost. So on here, we're gonna go some veg oil. Now, I know it looks like a lot, but unfortunately, aubergines drink up oil, and do you know what's delicious? Lovely, crispy aubergines, so that's just the way it has to be. We'll do some salt. And for this, I'm actually going to use white pepper. Brownie will be laughing because he knows I don't like it very much, but for this meal, it's the one. White pepper is just a little bit more authentic maybe, but yeah, a little bit of that in there. And then we're just going to give them a good coat. And I'd use your hands, get in there and make sure they've all got some of the salt and pepper, just like that. These are going to go into the air fryer for 15 minutes, I think we're going to go 190 degrees. because like I said, want to get them a little bit crisp on the outside but still soft in the middle. You can of course do this in an oven, it will just take longer. You know, I'm only one person that I'm cooking this for today, although I know it doesn't look like it, but this will be great leftovers. And you know, heating the whole oven up for me just doesn't make any sense. But the air fryer, quick, easy, efficient, and I also just love them. I'm not endorsed by any way by any kind of air fryer thing, but I just literally love air fryers. I think they're freaking great. So yeah, this is going to go in 190 degrees, and I think we'll put them on for about 15 minutes to start, and then we'll have a look at them. I mean, like I said, ideally this is about a 15-minute meal, so probably not much longer than that. These are cut up into a good size that should cook relatively quickly. So we'll get these in. If you're cooking rice, your rice is on, and then we just have to get the ingredients together for the sauce. So as you can see, not too much going on here, pretty simple and pretty quick to get together. Let's go get them in the air fryer. So many of you have commented on my lovely singing, so you can have it again. Okay, so while the aubergines are cooking in the air fryer and the rice is on in your household, not mine, we're just going to get the ingredients for the sauce together. I'm going to add in quite a lot of garlic, so it's kind of more like a garlic gochujang sauce. If you don't like garlic, don't worry about adding it. You know, add a bit more ginger, or if you don't like either of these, leave them out. It really doesn't matter. It's all about the way that you like to do things. As much as I said, these are recipes to help you along your way, to give you some inspiration. If you don't like something, don't put it in there. If you don't like coriander, just don't worry about it. Don't put it on top. It's gonna make you not want to eat your dinner. But let's get to it. So I'm gonna go for 6 cloves of garlic and then probably half this bit of ginger. So we'll do the old classic. We'll pop them out the shells. And then we're just going to puree them up so that they are nice and small. I mean, you can also go for kind of, you know, you could go for some long strips like this and just saute them off in the pan, but you have to be careful because they'll burn, and then burnt garlic isn't very nice. So I just kind of like to have it all smushed up. Get some salt. I already taught you guys that, you know, makes it much easier. That guy's ready. We're just going to put him on here. This is going to be our little plate of mise en place for when we start making the sauce. And then about half the ginger. And then the ginger, we're just going to do into little strips. What's great is if you slice them into little bits like this, you can then just pile them up on nice flat surfaces, and then you can cut them into lovely little thin strips, or as us chefs like to call them, julienne. There's some nice julienne ginger just there. And these little guys, they can join your garlic. We'll also get a coriander chopped. This is just going to be garnish, but since we're doing all of our chopping, we will just get it all done. He's going to go in there. And the only other bit of chopping that I need to do for this meal is my broccoli that I'm going to have on the side. So I'm just going to prep a little bit of this and have that ready to go too. And you know what? I know this stalk looks done, but I'm going to cut it open and use some of these bits too, because actually it's like really crunchy, it's delicious, and there's nothing wrong with it. So we'll cut all the hard edges off, put them in the compost, and then this bit I'm just going to cut in half. As you can see, this is where it started to dry out, so we won't use that bit. He can go to the compost. And then that's going to go with our final meal. I'll just probably boil it in a little bit of salted water. So as you can see, all the prep is done, and we just need to make the sauce, and we won't do that until basically the aubergine is ready, because we just need to saute these off in a little bit of sesame oil, and that will only take 1 or 2 minutes. And then we'll add the liquid, which we're going to make in here. We're going to add it to the pan, and then we'll add the hot aubergine to that, and we'll pretty much be ready to go. So it's all going to come together quite quickly at the end. We just want to make sure that obviously our broccoli or whatever it is we're having with it is cooked, and our rice is warmed up, or our noodles are ready to go, and then yeah, we can just put it all on a plate and like get stuck into it. It's going to be delicious. I'm I'm salivating just thinking about it because the smell of the garlic and the ginger, and then we're gonna make this sauce and I just know by then I'm already gonna want to eat. All right, so let's get the sauce together, shall we? To make the sauce, yeah, we're just gonna need the ingredients from before. So this is gochujang, like I said, really accessible these days. You can probably just buy it in the supermarket. And this is dependent on how spicy or not spicy you like to have things. I'm probably going to use like 1 to 2 tablespoons of the sauce. Again, I'm only making this currently for probably aubergine that's for 2 people, but if you were making it for 4 people, you might want to add a bit more because you're going to need a little bit more liquid so that everything can be coated. So yeah, we're just going to take some of this out. This stuff is, oh my god, it's yummy. It's like sweet and spicy. It's just really yummy. It has a great taste. So yeah, we're going to do 1. I'll do 2. I'm going to do 2 because I think that's probably going to make enough. And then we're also going to add some soy sauce just to this, but obviously be careful because this is a little bit salty. So we're going to add maybe 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, I would imagine. A little bit of sesame oil, just a tiny dribble, probably half a teaspoon just to give a little sesame taste. And then I do have a bit of miso here. I mean, it's absolutely haggard and I'm not going to show you the contents of this because I'm sure that there will be some people that are truly offended, but it still does the job. So I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of this, and then we're going to mix it all together and we're going to add some water so that it's loose, and then we can make the sauce. And then by that point the aubergine should be ready to go, nice and crispy, nice and crunchy. Like I said, it's going to be absolutely delicious. I can't wait to eat it. So I'm probably going to add about half a teaspoon of the miso too to add to this. Yeah, you just got to make sure that you give it a taste once it's all done, because if it's a little bit salty, maybe you want to add a little bit of water, or you could even add a little bit of sugar to it, like maybe a little bit of maple syrup or something like that to give it a little bit of sweetness, because the gochujang, it does have that kind of little bit of sweetness in the background. So yeah, we'll mix this all together, and I would say that we're probably going to add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of water to get it to the right consistency. I've actually just popped it in a bowl and we're just going to give it a wee little whisk so that everything is combined. So as you can see, I mean, it makes quite a thick kind of sauce. We'll give it a little taste. Yeah, it's spicy. Oh my god, that's absolutely yum though. Again, you know, if you've never used gochujang, then give it a little taste and kind of see how you feel about it. I do like things that are a little bit spicier, and I want this to be a little bit spicy, so I've put in what I like to taste. If you make this and you've followed these ingredients and you've made it to a T and you taste it and you're like, oh my fucking god, this is way too hot, then add some more water, dilute it slightly, and only use half the bowl, and you can keep the rest of it to dress something else. You know, you could use it as a dressing because it's all cooked and ready to go, and make it to your tasting. But yeah, I think this is how I want it. We're just going to saute off the garlic and the ginger, and I'm actually going to use a little bit of the comfy garlic oil. This is a great staple to have in the fridge, and again, if you want to make some, there's a little link up in the top of a really simple way to be able to make this. And I actually think we're going to put 1 or 2 of the little comfy garlics in there, smush them up a little bit and add them. It's just going to be absolutely delicious. So yeah, we're just waiting on the aubergine and we'll get this all cooked and happening. As you can see here, these aubergines have been in the air fryer at 190 for about 12 minutes. I think what I'm going to do is turn the temperature up to about maybe 210 for the last 5 minutes, just to get a good little bit of colour on them last ones. But as you can see, they're nice and soft with a little crunchy edge, which is exactly what we want. These things are just going to be so good. So the water's on and we're going to put the broccoli in, and then we've got our pan here ready to go to make our sauce. With the broccoli, these stemmed bits, I'm going to put them in first because they'll take an extra minute on top of the florets. So I'm going to turn the pan on, medium heat, and we're just going to saute off the garlic and the ginger, and then we're going to add the sauce and then add in the cooked aubergine, and then that's it, we're ready to go. So I'm going to use a little bit of the confit garlic oil that I made. We'll put a few of them little garlics in too because they're delicious. We can see that that's warmed up, so we're just going to add these 2 in, and we're just going to cook them gently. What we don't want is this too hot and then the garlic burn. So we're just going to put it on a low heat. Also, this guy, spatula, absolutely amazing. My favourite thing from the kitchen, and really good for when we're going to take all the sauce out of the pan and add it to here. We're going to get every inch out of this. If you don't own one of these, go and buy it. Honestly, they're so good. I just love them. Oh my God, it just smells so delicious, so fragrant from the ginger and the garlic. As you can see, I haven't added much oil because there's a little bit of oil in the sauce, and also the aubergines had oil on them anyway, so we don't want to add too much. The garlic is just starting to turn, so we're going to add the sauce and add the aubergine, and voila, we are done. Give it a quick toss, and we're ready to serve. I also found hanging out in the fridge just the top of some spring onions, so you know what, I thought these guys can go on too. We'll just chop them up into some little rings, and they're just going to be lovely on top. That'll do for one. These guys can go back into the fridge and we'll save them for later. And that's it. As you can see, the mixture is slightly thickened, so if you wanted it a little bit looser, you could add a touch more water, but for me, I think this is absolutely great. Now we're just going to plate this bad boy up. A little bit of rice. I like to put on top of here a little bit of salt and pepper. I've also got my broccoli, which I warmed up, which I've also seasoned, and he's just going to go on the side. And then just some of this lovely, soft, creamy and spicy Korean inspired aubergine. Top it off with a little bit of chopped coriander, some sesame seeds and some scallions. And there you have it. Korean inspired aubergine, a quick, not quite 15 but nearly meal. If this doesn't shout, eat me quick, I don't know what does. I really hope you like it, guys. You can always head on over to my website and find the recipe for this all there, ready for you and easy to access. The link's in the comment section down below. But now, it's time to eat. The aubergine is so creamy when you do it like this because it stays intact more. The gochujang is spicy, but it's sweet. The sesame seeds add a perfect little crunch, and who's not to love broccoli? He's got to be my favourite vegetable, and he's on the plate too. For a quick weeknight meal, this is the one. I want you to try this guy out. Let me know how it goes in the comment section down below. See you all next time, guys, and we know how this goes. I'm off to eat my lunch. See you soon. I mean, seriously, it's so creamy. See ya. I tell you what, this is like such a good bang for your buck meal. Flavour, absolute insane. You know, it's through the roof, fucking